Let's talk about the 24 books I want to read in 2024. Hey guys, welcome to my channel if you are new here, and welcome back if you are not. Today we're going to be talking about the 24 books I want to read in 2024. So this list I have redone multiple times because I keep finding things I want to read or forgetting about things and then going, oh, that has to be added to the list. So some of these you might have seen that are currently on my TBR cart that might even be read before the end of the year, but it's not likely. There's a slim chance. It's a very, very slim chance. But I will tag that video down below so that you guys can see what's actually on my TBR cart. But I need to start this list with one that I'm so excited to read, and I am trying not to read before the end of the year simply because I need to get through my TBR cart. I need to get some physical books out of here. I have no space left. And this I have solely on audio, but that would be The Inadequate Heir by Daniel L. Jensen. I love the Bridge Kingdom series. I love it, and this is the start of a new duology in the series. I don't know who the couple is. I haven't looked into it yet, but I've loved the original duology so much that I don't care who the new couple is. I just want to read more. I need more. And I can very well add her Norse book onto this. I'll post a picture of it. I'm not going to add it because I do want to get through the Bridge Kingdom series. I don't like reading multiple series from the same author. You guys know this. But if I do, then I do. Next would be Empire of the Damned by Jay Kristoff. You guys know Jay Kristoff's one of my favorite authors. I have a very beautiful trilogy up here of Nevernight, Empire of the Vampires right there. I love Jay Kristoff's writing. I gave Empire of the Vampire 5 stars. I'm probably one of the only people I know that gave it 5 stars, but just loved it so much, so much. I'm not a character-driven reader, so it's very odd for me to fall in love with Empire of the Vampire, but I love Jay Kristoff's macabre writing. It speaks to me on every level. I know he's purple. I know he's macabre. It's not for everybody, but I'm so excited to get to Empire of the Damned. I have it pre-ordered already. I don't think it's even releasing until March, but I have pre-ordered it already. Next is a book that I've been waiting to read. I have the physical copy of it. I don't know why I didn't just go grab it, but for this video, I like to post the images of because most of them I don't have physically yet. But The Goddess of Nothing at All by Kat Rector, I've had for a while. I actually won it on Twitter, and Kat was kind enough to send me a physical copy when I won I was trying to win the hardcover copy, and I ended up winning an ebook. And I told her, you know what, it's fine, give it to someone else because I have a hard time with ebooks, and she was kind enough to send me a physical copy of the book. I've been meaning to get to it, but my burnout with Norse books happened, and I didn't get around to reading it then, but I'm so excited to read it now. I do think it even has an audiobook now, and that's just one more benefit for me since I'm dyslexic, but I'm very excited to get to this. I love Norse books. I've heard nothing but great things about this from the people who have read it. A lot of the girls on my Discord have read it and really, really loved it. So I'm just excited. I'm so excited. Next would be The Wickwire Watch by Jacqueline Hagan. Now, this is an SPFBO that I said I wanted to read and I just haven't got around to it yet, but a lot of people on the Wizard Enclave Discord have been really enjoying it. And so it's been bumping up my TBR and bumping up my TBR. I want to read it now, but again, I have to get through some of the physical books on my shelves so that I can get some out and get the others on the TBR cart or on the shelves, however I need to do with all of that. But I'm so excited for this one, and I've heard nothing but good things. I don't know how far it has got in the SPFBO competition. I haven't been looking into that. I will likely read the finalists, but I just don't know where this one stands. Next would be In the Shadow of the Gods by Rachel Dune. Now, I bought the whole trilogy. Why did I buy the whole trilogy? Because Michael R. Fletcher is the one that recommended it to me. This was when we had a Discord that had a lot of authors on it, and he was hanging around there for a little bit, and we got to talking about like books that he thought I would enjoy, and He actually blurbs like the second and third book of this series, but he thought that I would really like this one. And so I bought the whole trilogy. So I got to put it on this list, right? It's got to happen. Next would be The Children of Gods and Fighting Men by Shauna Lawless. Now, I have been friends with Shauna Lawless for quite some time, part of the same Discord for quite some time, and I have heard nothing but great things about these books. I'm very excited to get into these. They are mythology based, so that's kind of why I've avoided them a little bit. I really latch on to mythology, and then that's all I want to read, and then the third book just released. So, I mean, now I can binge it, and I'll be okay. So, I'm very much looking forward to this one. I've heard nothing but great things about this one as well. All the Discords are abuzz with how great they are, and I'm just looking forward to it quite a bit. The Unspoken Name by A.K. Larkwood. That is one that's on my TBR cart right now, and it might get read before the end of the year. And then what am I supposed to do with this video? I have had this on my TBR for so long, and it has bumped up my TBR because there's a booktuber who has differing taste than me who hated it, and now I have to know, because they hated it, I'm probably gonna like it. I can see that happening. And now I'm just curious. I need to know. It's been on my TBR for so long. I just need to read it. Next is a new addition to the list, and that would be The Art of Destiny by Wesley Chu. Why has this been a new addition? Because I'm reading The Art of Prophecy, and it's so good. It's so good. I didn't know if I was going to like this series because I know it's martial arts based, and I've never read a martial arts based novel. This is getting me very excited to also read the Combat Codes. I've had the Combat Codes audio for a little while. I just haven't read it yet or haven't listened to it. I have the physical of the Combat Codes sitting behind me in the self-published edition, but haven't read it yet. And I'm very excited to, actually, because, you know, I didn't know that I liked the martial arts thing in books, but it turns out I do. I really do. And so yeah, Art of Destiny has made it to the 24 books I need to read in 2024. Next on this list will be the next book in the Age of Uprising. I'm assuming it's going to be released in 2024. This is by R.S. Ford. I've loved Engines of Empire, Engines of Chaos. We don't have a release date for the third book yet, so I'm hoping it's 2024. I'm manifesting that it's going to be released in 2024. I love this series though, and I'm very excited for the next installment. Next would be Stellar Instinct by Jonathan Navarrete. Now, the reason that I'm adding this to the list is because I got this on sale on Chirp for like 99 cents. And then all of my friends started reading it and they were like, this is good. This is good. And I'm like, okay. But these covers, guys, I need to know if I need to buy the physical copies of these books because they are so beautiful, so beautiful. But these are spy novels that are sci-fi. And again, it's not something I typically read, but I want to know. I need to know. Is this a series that I need to purchase? Do I need to keep buying them? And I do realize that some of the books I'm picking are starts of series, but keep in mind, some of them are continuations of series. So not too bad, not too bad. Next would be Mickey 7, and I feel like the easy answer here is there's a movie coming out. I want to read the book before I watch the movie, and I'll probably watch the movie because I love sci-fi movies. So that's my explanation for Mickey 7. That's all I've got for you. Next would be The Skin Map by Stephen R. Lawhead. Now, this is a series I've owned for a very long time. The reason I have owned this series for a very long time is I'm a huge fan of Hood. That series, I think it's Raven something, King Raven. And I loved them so much, but I have been so scared to read anything else because of how much I love that series. I'm afraid nothing else is going to live up to it. But this is Sci-Fi by Stephen R. Lawhead. So I'm very curious, very, very curious. And again, not a book we have a release date for just yet, but the third and final book in Megan E. O'Keefe's Devoured Worlds trilogy. I have read the first two, absolutely love them. The Blighted Stars being the first of them. I love Megan E. O'Keefe, just point blank period. So I'm very much looking forward to the conclusion of this trilogy. Now, one that has been on my list for quite some time that I actually have heard very little about, but really want to get into it because I have two of the books and I have them on audio, but that would be Daughter of Flood and Fury by Levi Jacobs. Now, I did talk to someone who does like this series, and they actually on Twitter, like, were like, okay, you have to read it. They're so good. They're so good. But I didn't hear anything beyond that they are so good. And I haven't looked at reviews because you guys know I don't like doing that because I like going in with my own opinions. And I just want to read the books that call to me, that appeal to me. And so I haven't read them yet, but I do have 2 of them on audio. So very much looking forward to them. Another that I've owned for quite some time, heard nothing but great things about, would be Guns of the Dawn by Adrian Tchaikovsky. Now, do I own Adrian Tchaikovsky books and refuse to read them? Maybe. It's not necessarily a refusal to read them. It is, I'm scared. I'm nervous. The books make me nervous because there's things about them that I'm probably not going to like, and I already know that going into it. And so I kind of just keep waiting for the right time to read them. Children of Time is on the TBR cart, guys. It's on the TBR cart. So had I not had that on the TBR cart already and doing the project that I'm doing, it would probably be here as well. But I do want to eventually read some Tchaikovsky. And so I feel like Guns of the Dawn is actually probably where I should start. It seems like a more fitting start than, you know, a massive trilogy. The book's over 600 pages long, and everybody seems to love it. So we're going to go with that. Guns of the Dawn. All right, I am now manifesting my read of Soul Keeper by David Dalglish. You guys know I have a problem with David Dalglish books. I will buy them and then not read them, and then I own all of the David Dalglish books unread. Because I do. I own all of the David Dalglish books unread. I've read The Bladed Faith, so I've read one, but I haven't read any of the others, and I own them all. I really, really need to get around to reading at least one series, and this is a trilogy. So I'm hoping that this one will be when I finish. I do have the Sapphire Altar, so it could be that I finish that trilogy and then move on to Soul Keeper. I don't know, but I do need to get this read, get it off of my TBR, probably still likely on my shelves because I have like the David Dalglish book that I have read. So next would be The Yasad Heir by Sarah Hashem. I think that's how you say it. So this went on my list because everybody was comparing it to Fourth Wing. And then I talked to one of my friends who's like, this isn't a romance. No, there's a romance here, but this is not a romance. And I was like, okay, then why does everybody keep comparing it to Fourth Wing? I think it's just because they came out around the same time. Women authors kind of get lumped together and everyone expects romance from women authors. And then, you know, you don't get it. And I just, that's a whole rant for a different video. But I'm actually a little bit excited because, you know, I loved The Stardust Thief, which is not a romance, but has a little bit of romance in it, just a little bit. And so I'm excited to see what this one is. I love desert fantasy. I have been picking it up more and more, and this is just another one to add to the list. On that note, The Empyrean, I need to read the 3rd book in 2024. I do believe that there is a release date for the 3rd book. I haven't looked into it, but I have read Fourth Wing and Iron Flame. Really enjoyed both books. I did have an issue with the 2nd book being a little bit not to my taste for the like first 30% of it, but man, did she kill the next 70. So I was like, okay, I'm still sold on this series. I do think this series is good, and I do think it's entertaining and fun. Is it the best written fantasy ever? Absolutely not. But if you're reading for fun and entertainment, this is it. This is the series you should be reading. And next on the list is Swordcatcher by Cassandra Clare. I need to know what her adult fantasy is going to look like. Now, I read Immortal Instruments like way back in the day. Way back in the day. I think I cannot remember. I read 2 of her trilogies, I think, and then kind of gave up on them. Not because I didn't like Cassandra Clare, but it's because I started watching the Shadowhunters show, hoping that, you know, I would get more out of the show than I did the books, and it didn't happen, and I just kind of burnt out. But I really do like Cassandra Clare's writing. I do remember that. And so I'm really looking to see what that translates into for adult fantasy. I've heard great things about this story, so I'm very excited about it. And I did get a really pretty edition of it from Fairy Loot. I'm going to ignore that the dust jacket exists, though. I don't like that dust jacket. But the actual physical copy I have of it is quite beautiful. And one that kind of got bumped up my radar because E.J. Beaton, I didn't realize that was a female author until someone pointed it out to me. The Counselor is again on my TBR cart. If I don't get to it though, that is a high priority for me in the coming year. I really want to read it. There's a lot of people who have told me that I would really like it, and I just haven't had the desire to read it until a few months ago. Then I put it on the TBR cart and I still haven't got to it yet. So like, there's a chance I could read it before the end of the year simply because it is on the TBR cart and what I'm doing with my TBR cart currently. But if I don't get around to reading it, that's going to be high on my list for 2024. Oh, and in the series that I can't seem to get around to reading that I want to read so badly, that would be The Lost Queen by Signe Pike. Now, why do I want to read this? Because I'm an Arthurian fangirl. I love Arthurian tales. Why have I not read this yet? I've owned it for years, the first book at least, and I still haven't read it. I just need to get around to doing it. That's all I can say about The Lost Queen. also on the TBR cart. And I have recently talked about this, but A Desolation Called Peace I do have, and I do think I might have added it to my list whenever I took one off of the TBR cart, because it's sitting on my TBR cart. I can see it, it's right there. But I loved A Memory Called Empire, and I'm just very excited to get to this one and finish out this duology. So next is one that I'm tentative about because I need to reread the original trilogy. But Night Angel Nemesis by Brent Weeks. I have a special edition copy of Night Angel. Let me just grab it. Can you even tell? Okay, yeah. It is solid black and I love it. I love this trilogy. I love Brent Weeks' writing. And so I need to reread this. Obviously, I will probably do the audio instead of trying to read my special edition that I own. But I need to read this before I can read Night Angel Nemesis because it's been a long time for me. I did reread the first book like last year or a couple years ago. I'm not really sure which, but I need to reread this, read Night Angel Nemesis, and continue with my little assassin here. So very high on the priority list. Just one that's going to take me reading 3 more books before I can get to it. And then last but not least is one that I have been really, really excited for and then kind of lost my excitement after realizing I didn't really vibe with her original trilogy anymore. Then I heard everybody talking about it and I was like, okay, I'm gonna need to read this, aren't I? Darkwater Daughter by H.M. Long. Now, I'm talking about Hall of Smoke. Loved that first book. The second one was okay. And then I just never read the third one. I didn't. And it was on my 24 books I needed to read, or 23 books I need to read in 2023. Borrowed Winter. I didn't read it because I was very disappointed with the second book. However, I've heard from so many people that have my same reading taste that I will love Darkwater Daughter. So I'm very intrigued, very, very intrigued to see how I'm going to vibe with it. Very excited. Heard very great things. But that's it for my video today. Like, subscribe, do all the fun things. I will see you guys in my next video. If you guys want to connect with me in any other way, I do have all of my links to the Linktree link down below. Bye.